Honestly, I have no clue. It's like a private school.
Um, they sound like, I don't know, schools for special interests.
Magnet schools are public schools that have a specialization.
Magnet schools are schools that, through a lottery system, random lottery system, they select students to go into different schools that emphasize areas that might interest them, like math, science, or arts and humanities.
I don't think they really encourage it because the people that are usually qualified for magnet schools come from middle class, white families most of the time, because unfortunately minorities don't get the right amount of education to be qualified for those schools sometimes.
I think discourage, because if you're going to a specialized school, then it's all going to be the same types of people going there.
Yes, because it's a random lottery system, so it's a random selection of students to go into it, so you have lots of diversity among the students. And no, if you think about it, depending on the emphasis of the school, which is math and science, because you have all math and science students in that school.
I think they encourage because they're public schools, but then there are also people with the same interests, so you can group together people of like the same knowledge from different backgrounds.
I think that magnet schools should probably receive like the same amount of funding as public schools based off of like population, because it's something that the students are choosing to go to, but also they're choosing to leave their home schools.
I think that it shouldn't receive more or less. I think it should just receive the same.
I don't think they should receive more funding. I think they should probably receive the same amount. Just because if you start to neglect other schools, then you're only reinforcing the problem of some cities or some people not getting as much or the same quality of education as other schools with magnet programs.
I think that they should receive more because they're trying to specialize schools and make them more, have more specific. So like they need more funding to like buy all this stuff.
So yeah, you are promoting that inequality, and by saying I go to like a specialized school, it's almost like putting yourself above other kids.
I think I don't think they promote equality simply because magnet schools do sometimes have better quality education, and people that go to those schools receive that education, which does have higher quality than other schools, and so you're only increasing the education gap between people that went to those schools compared to people who didn't go to those schools.
I believe they promote equality because students that may be lower class or can't afford public schools that are more expensive, or they can't afford an education that's good for them, they have these magnet schools that they can go into, and it can promote equality across the board.
So I feel like they promote, because if it's a public school, then everyone should be given the same right to be able to go to it. So I feel like they would promote equality because it would give like children who are in more like special, like not as privileged like schools to be able to go to these schools because they're public and they don't have to pay tuition.
Well, I think like the very definition of magnet schools kind of says that they're not trying to give like a comprehensive education across all subjects, because they're specifically focusing on a few or one subject, whether it's like science and technology or the arts or whatnot. So no, I don't think that they give like an equal education of all subjects.
No, because they're focused on one thing, so the people that go there only care about that one thing.
I did not attend one, but I assume that they do because everybody wants to go there.
feel like yes, because while they are specialized and they have their concentrations, they also have to provide focuses on other subjects like math and writing and language. If they're not language like concentrated, you have to hit all the subjects, but just concentrate really hard on one.
It seemed like there were a lot of misconceptions about magnet schools that people had. For the first thing, like people didn't really know if magnet schools were private or public. So like that was sort of funny to like have them be like, oh yeah, it's a private school. The other misconception was that a lot of people thought it was something that like favored middle class white students, when magnet schools were originally created to help desegregate the school system and to help give African American and students of lower socioeconomic status better opportunities.
And along with those answers, it was surprising to see the variety of answers we got. People had very strong opinions, like yes or no, opposing the questions or agreeing with the questions, which was just surprising since a lot of people, no one we'd interviewed had ever been in a magnet school, and a lot of people had misconceptions about the magnet school. So it was interesting to see how they had such strong opinions about a topic that they didn't hold very dear to heart. So it was cool to see that it was actually something they kind of cared about.
Yeah, it like really showed how like polarizing it is and how like education is such a political issue.
And how it's an important issue and something that like people, even if people don't think about it, when you ask them about it, they are concerned about it and they have opinions on it.
Get very into it.